We are here in the fabulous frame of the Chapelle Musicale Reine-Elisabeth to work on a project of opera called En vertu de, being the first part of a diptych. The second part is Der Kaiser von Atlantis from the composer Victor Ullmann. I wanted to give an actual and contemporary question and vision of what is the situation in Europe now related to fascism, extreme rights, rising extremism, to show that what we see in 1944, of course in an extreme way, we have to question it in our days. I said, why don't we put in music the European Convention on Human Rights? A material which is not operatic, which you would really not see in an opera normally.
As the project developed into this, let's say, discussion and discourse on the European Declaration of Human Rights and the Constitution and sort of where we are, and I'm someone who was actually, I was born in the Soviet Union, but somehow on the edge of Europe in a way, but always related to the European Union and the development of Europe as a society. But I didn't grow up here, and for me it's also, I have a bit of a perspective of an outsider, which for me is very interesting.
But the thing is, I have to breathe as well.
I am the only character, and the musicians are part of my personality. They are different faces of one character. They won't be like, that's why I say it's not really an opera in my perception. It's a statement.
Not here.
Maybe not there, because he only breathes here.
Yes.
It's very important to have a good contact and intensive contact with the composer, and same with the stage director. And the idea of the concept is really that the two parts, the new composition and the Kaiser von Atlantis, are in one project, in one concept. And so it's very interesting to work now from the baby stages of the composition. We are already there, and we are really building this whole project together.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's nice that we can ask for once the composer.
That's the first time I have the opportunity of sitting down with the composer and the director and create it and taking part of the process of creation. It's been actually delightful and a privilege, I have to say, because it doesn't happen every day that, you just film the composer and say, look, this phrase is not working. Could you think about something that will work better? And it's a privilege, I would say.
We expect operas to have choirs, we expect operas to have quite a lot of people on stage, and also an orchestra with a conductor. These are things we take for granted. And in a way, this is perhaps one of the things that ENOA seeks to challenge, and that we have to think about as people who create opera, about whether those very rigid and quite expected characteristics of opera that we've become accustomed to are actually still necessary for us to define opera as opera. I went into something a bit closer to where opera comes from or grows out of, which is the Baroque era, and to evoke this in quite strange ways, because actually this is the first and last time that opera was really about chamber music and about some sort of, it was also a time when opera was flexible in what it meant, because we weren't sure what it really would become.
I am an absolutely strong believer of what Europe can achieve, could achieve, but I'm also a strong believer that Europe has now really to ask itself some questions, some very important questions for its future. And maybe in 2021 we are not in the situation we were 30 years ago, and maybe we really have to challenge things. So it's also about that. What can we improve? What do we have to change so it's possible?